it's been quite a therapeutic process, if I'm honest. I've enjoyed doing it. I didn't expect quite the
yeah, because a lot of the attention has
got.
been on the end of your time at Newcastle and this Twitter spat with Alan Shearer. Have you spoken to him since? I mean, have you managed to clear the air or anything since that time?
No, I haven't. Sadly, as well, because me and Alan were great mates for a long period of time, and you know, when I first went up to Newcastle, he was one of the main reasons I signed for Newcastle. I stayed at his house while I was house hunting. Yeah, and we used to play golf regularly. We had the same agent, same boot sponsor. We had so much in common. But sadly, Alan took over as manager, and then sort of unbeknown to me, I suppose, and it's obviously all in the book, but unbeknown to me that we had a falling out, and it was only a year or two after I left Newcastle. When I was about to pick up the phone to him, I was talking to a mutual friend, and he said, "Oh, I wouldn't call him," you know, and I was like, "Why not?" And then it started, you know, the reason started transpiring. So it's very strange, very sad in a way, but you know, we live at different ends of the country, I suppose, and not all is lost.
What went wrong? What did you fall out over?
Well, it's quite a long story. I'll try to keep it short. Last game of the season, we need to get something away at Aston Villa. I'd been injured, and I had a groin problem. I was coming back, and basically, I was still a week or two away from being fit. Bear in mind, I had a history of muscle injuries. They plagued my career. So I knew my body. I knew my body better than anyone, literally to the day. I knew if I was a day too early, it would re-tear or something would go wrong. And on the flip side, I knew when I was right as well. And I was quite clearly a week or so away from playing. But last game of the season, we needed to get something. Alan wanted me in the team. And I said to him, I think if you start me, I'm probably going to break down after 5 as soon as I sprint. So I said, if I were you, I'd put me on the bench. And if you need a goal, just bring me on with 10, 15 minutes to go, and I'll try to just stay around the goal, not you know, expose myself to obviously getting re-injured. He took that, as it transpired, as that I didn't want to play or that I was scared of getting injured because then I was out of contract, so then it might affect my next club, and whatever, however he took it. So that was that's the crux of it, and it's pretty sad that it happened like that.
Obviously, Alan Shearer isn't here to give us his version of events, but we do know from a tweet that he put out talking about, you know, reaction to your time at Newcastle. He was saying, well, you know, he was wondering why you were unhappy when you were getting paid £120,000 a week.
Well, I wasn't unhappy. I loved Newcastle. I love the people. I love playing there. And sadly, when you say a sentence and then someone stops it halfway through and then you don't get to mention it in context, then it's very difficult. What I said was, I didn't enjoy the second half of my career as much as the first half. I was a good young player at 18, 19. I was playing for England. I was at the top of my game. I was winning all awards and trophies. Second half of my career, injuries started catching up. If you're not as good as at your job as you once were, inevitably you don't enjoy it as much. I never said I hated football. I absolutely adore football to this day. But I didn't enjoy being what I consider an average Joe at the time. I was just not the player I was. And when you've been at the top, mentally that's quite hard to take. So, of course, I didn't enjoy playing the last 6 years, 7 years of my career as much as the first bit. But that included other clubs like Stoke and Manchester United. And, of course, you know, nobody from there has complained. So it's not in context to the actual quote that I said.